Hey, shalom, assalamu alaikum, deo gracias to all of you out there. God is great. I know y'all miss me, and I miss you too. I hope everyone's doing good. I want to talk about the term weapons of war real quick. And that term is being used a lot by people in government and the media. Kamala Harris said recently that weapons of war have no place in our society, and she's certainly talking about an assault weapons ban. So that begs the question, what is a weapon of war? Could she be talking about this right here? Double action revolver, 5-shot, or in this case, a 6-shot, limited capacity weapon. I mean, is this made for target shooting? Is this made for hunting? No. It says it right on the barrel. It's a combat magnum. This is similar to what my father carried in Vietnam as a Huey pilot. So, is this revolver a weapon of war? If it was pointed at you, and you might rethink whether or not it is or it isn't. This is a weapon of war. String. A kite string, to be specific. A kite string certainly could be used maybe to choke somebody, but what I'm talking about is a dismounted patrol I was on in Afghanistan in 2011. The bloodiest year of that war, what I call Obama's war. We were on dismounted patrol, and we were in the green zone, which is the lush agricultural region that surrounds the Helmand River. And at that time, the IED threat was so large that as an infantryman, our tactics were simply to move in a ranger file, so to speak. So the formations of tack column or wedge or anything were rarely used. It was always walking in the footsteps of the guy in front of you because the pressure plate threat was so high at that time. So in this particular patrol, you got to have a guy in the front. Your lead man is an engineer, typically a guy with a CMD, and Lord knows that I did a lot of that on that deployment, sweeping. I had to sweep up to a tank that got blown up. I swept up to MRAP that blew up in front of me. But on this particular dismounted patrol, we're moving in a low water ditch, and I'm about maybe the, I don't know, 7th or 8th man behind the lead point man. And the point man on this particular patrol was an IED dog and a dog handler. And then we had our first squad leader, Sergeant Van. And as they turned the corner, I remember vividly hearing nothing but seeing an explosion happen. So these guys disappeared into this just cloud of smoke and stone, and it takes your brain a second to register what's happening in front of you as reality. And shortly after that, and I saw Sergeant Van get blown up twice on that deployment. Shortly after that, chaos ensued, and I'm firing high explosive dual purpose rounds out of my 203 at a nearby compound where we had an insurgent with an AK, and I'm firing my rifle, and we had tanks in support, and tanks were firing main gun rounds over our head. And we later come to find out from observers on an elevated position that IED was not a pressure plate. It was in fact ignited by a kite string by an insurgent that was probably 100, 200 yards away. He had a kite string all the way out. He waited till that lead element passed through the choke point, and then he simply pulled the kite string, which ignited the IED. So when we talk about weapons of war, this is something that most people don't think about, but I do, and a lot of men that were there would agree that, you know, we're talking about assault weapons here, there, everywhere, but what is and what isn't a weapon of war is very, very subjective. It could get down to just boom, hands. So I hate when I hear people, even on the right, trying to defend an AR-15 and saying, "Oh, it's not a weapon of war." Well, that's horseshit. Everything is a weapon of war. Everything can be used as a weapon of war. At the end of the day, when they talk about weapons of war, they're talking about anything that's in your hands that they don't want you to have. So this revolver right here, it's legal in all 50 states. But guys, that's the reality. It's something that just bothers me. Don't play in that semantics game of what is and what isn't a weapon of war. Look around your house and you'll see things that could be used in that capacity. In the meantime, you know, don't even debate these people. It's just absolutely not worth your time. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Yeah, we'll continue with our videos as much as we can out here. K-frame Combat Magnum. I do want to do a video on what revolvers are best, you know, if you're going to carry a limited capacity weapon. But let's be clear, these guns were not made for target shooting. They weren't made for hitting tin cans. They weren't made for hunting deer. You know, these guns were made, they're made for combat. They're made for defending yourself. They're made for defending your family. So remember that, and I hope you guys stay safe out there. We'll see you later.